All right, backfield battles. Let's start with Seattle. I'm going to give you the ADP based on NFC, which is high stakes leagues since June 1st.
Perfect. Okay.
We'll also put in it's high stakes leagues, and I think there's best ball data mixed in there.
And it's I think half PPR, right?
Yeah.
There are a variety of leagues mixed in there. I think Dan's right. There is some best ball. I think there's less best ball in this ADP than there is in Fantasy Pros currently, though. So I think it's the best we've got.
Okay, and it's about 50 drafts, so it's still not great, but it is what it is. All right, Seattle. Ken Walker as RB15 in round 4. Zach Charbonnet as RB38 in round 10. And what do you think? RB15 for Walker, RB38 for Charbonnet, round 4 versus round 10. Heath, what's the better value?
Well, it's definitely not Ken Walker in round 4 as RB15 for me. I have real concerns about whether Walker can hold on to anything in the passing game and whether Walker can hold on to short yardage work. He was very DeAndre Swift-like last year with a real strong ability to hit the big play. Maybe even a little bit of Saquon Barkley, except not near as good, obviously, in the passing game. But too many runs that went for negative or 0 or 1 yard. And so I don't want to draft a running back in round 4 if I'm not sure that he's the goal line back or the passing downs back.
Yeah. Dan, what's the better value here? Round 4 for Walker or round 10 for Charbonnet?
Without a doubt, it's taking the gamble on in round 10 on Charbonnet. I think Heath nailed it. I was going to go into a little bit of it, but Walker was not very efficient last year as a runner, and I felt like he didn't do a great job, in my opinion, of running behind that wide zone scheme that they ran. I mean, I only saw 2 games on tape. One was the Giants game, but I thought there were some holes he picked that were wrong. And you bring in Zach Charbonnet, who's a really talented back, whose film I loved. I had him as my RB2 overall in this class, ahead of Jahmyr Gibbs, clearly. And that's a big piece. That's a big competition piece. And I don't think they're going to look at this thing like this is Walker's job. He's coming in and Charbonnet's the backup. I think they're just going to hot hand this and mix it around. And at that point, like with a six round difference, I don't think it's even a debate for me, Charbonnet over Walker, because I think Charbonnet is the more talented player.
I don't actually have Charbonnet in round 10 either in full PPR. I've got him in round 11. So it's not, I'm not necessarily saying that I love the Charbonnet side either, but I just no chance that I'm drafting Ken Walker in round 4.
There'll be a lot of Charbonnets for me just because the way I draft my teams, it's so wide receiver heavy that I need those dart throws in those rounds. And to me, he's just like you get one Walker injury, now you have potentially a RB1 out of Charbonnet.
So I do want to bring up some. First of all, you did say, Dan, that you think Charbonnet is a more talented player, which I find interesting.
I like him better.
I feel like people are forgetting how good Ken Walker is. And you're right. You're exactly right, Heath, about his profile. He was a boomer bust, not on a week-to-week basis, but on a carry-by-carry basis guy. Yep. He was a home run hitter. He was one of the very best at explosiveness and one of the very worst when it came to just, gaining a yard, basically.
And that is the kind of guy, generally, that fantasy people love and head coaches give touches to other guys and we get mad about it.
Yeah, I just don't know that it's going to be the same this year. He could easily become a more consistent running back. It's what I've noticed with some of these advanced stats when we look at rookies. And also short yardage. Walker was not good in short yardage. Among 64 running backs with 50 or more carries, he was 48th in conversion rate on 3rd and 4th and 1. So he did not do a good job there, but he was better than his percentage of converted carries on 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 to become first downs. He had a higher percentage than Jonathan Taylor, than Saquon Barkley, than Damian Harris. He was slightly behind Josh Jacobs and Nick Chubb. And also, remember Clyde Edwards-Helaire as a rookie? He converted 1/3 of his 3rd and 4th and 1 carries. And then over the last 2 years, he's 15 for 15. But 3rd down and 1 and 4th and 1. So things can change.
There's 2 things there. He's gotten 15 opportunities since he converted 1/3.
I know.
Like he is right. Not. He is nowhere close to the Chiefs' first or second preference as an option on a short yardage play. I think that's probably why he's 15 for 15, because teams are so surprised when they hand it off to him on 3rd or 4th and 1 because they don't do that. They've done it.
He's just gotten better.
Once every other game, he gets one of those opportunities.
Okay, yeah. Austin Eckler. In 2021, he converted 33% of his 18 third and fourth and one carries. In 2022, he converted 64.3%. My point is, and this is a really important point that I try to make, not necessarily just specific to this situation. When you look at these types of numbers, you need more than 1 year. You need more than 1 year.
Agreed.
For
sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I wasn't saying I definitely think Charbonnet's got short yardage work. I'm just not drafting a running back in round 4 if I think that both of those things are up for grabs. I think those, Walker could be better than Charbonnet and get that role this year. I don't think it's very likely that Walker gets the passing downs role.
Okay. Yeah.
I think Heath really nailed this one, to be honest, because we could, how close is this situation to DeAndre Swift of last year? We drafted DeAndre Swift around that same range. What did you get out of that investment?
Oh, I have to disagree with this because Swift was terrific at the start of the season. Granted, it was only 2.5 games.
I thought we drafted DeAndre Swift in round 2 last year.
No, you're right. It was even higher for DeAndre Swift.
Yeah,
you're right.
But he got hurt. He got hurt. That's why
he was. I don't know if the injury was the reason he wasn't running short yardage. I think Jamal Williams had that role regardless.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
And you know what though? Dan Campbell told us that.
Yeah.
Before the season started. But Swift was still so good that he was still putting up a lot of fantasy points. But you're right. You're 100% right. Jamal Williams was a short yardage guy. Okay. Let's go to Detroit. Hey, speaking of which, it was Swift and Williams last year. Now it's Gibbs and Montgomery. I know where Heath's going to go with this. I'll let him go first anyway. What's the better value, Gibbs in round 4 or Montgomery in round 7?
Well, I have Montgomery in round 4 and Gibbs in round 5. I'm one of the only people I think in the I don't like this. I might end up caving because I do think Gibbs is a special talent, but I think I'm one of the only people in the industry who has Montgomery ahead of Gibbs. And it's not because I think he's going to score 17 touchdowns like Jamal Williams, but I do think that David Montgomery is better than Jamal Williams, especially I think he's better in the passing game. And so I think if you look at that split between Williams and Swift last year, I think there's a chance that it's a similar split. Gibbs could have more than 99 carries because he's going to hopefully play a full season. But I think it's a similar split, but possibly Montgomery has a slightly larger share of the passing down work. I think Gibbs is going to have to score from outside the 20 most of the time if he's going to score a touchdown.
Dan, better value, Gibbs in round 4 or Montgomery in round 7?
I don't even think it's close. It's Montgomery in round 7. I think I'm exactly with Heath on this. If I had to rank them today, I would have Montgomery over Gibbs. I think Gibbs in round 4 versus Charbonnet in round 10 makes absolutely no sense to me. No sense whatsoever to me. Both of those players are in basically the same exact timeshare. You can say, oh, Walker's much more talented than Dave Montgomery. Is he? Dave Montgomery is a really good runner. If you look at the advanced stats, he has done a great job in his career of forcing missed tackles and creating yards after contact. He's not viewed as one of those types of guys that can create on his own, but he actually can. And that's been behind a pretty bad Bears O-line with the exception of last year. Now he gets the best offensive line of his career. I think David Montgomery is a great value, and I think that Jahmyr Gibbs is completely inflated to a point that really doesn't even make that much sense to me. Like Heath just said perfectly, where are we getting our points from Gibbs? If he's not going to dominate the passing down role, which we don't think he is, or at least Heath and I don't, he's going to need a lot of design touches in the passing game. Don't know where those are coming from. The passing game is already so concentrated with Amon-Ra St. Brown and could even turn over a little bit more to Jameson Williams. So now you're looking at where is he scoring the touchdowns from, and that really doesn't feel like anywhere but long touchdowns for me. And now we're looking at basically like DeAndre Swift 2.0. It feels like almost from a role standpoint. I know he was drafted high, and there's all these expectation and hype and hope because he's having good camp and stuff like that, and that's only going to grow. I think this ADP will go to round 3 by the time we're done with this. But I just don't know.
I took him in round 3.
I don't know where the actual production comes from for me with what's around him. Yeah.
He's got it's got to be what the case that Adams made and this case right here. It's got to be that he catches 70 plus passes.
Yeah.
And that could happen.
Don just said think Ingram Kamara. Don said think Ingram Kamara, but you're taking the one example of a Sean Payton offense, the guy who is shown over his history, he can maximize running backs in the passing game. So much of that offense was designed around getting the Kamara in the passing game. Arrow routes, whip, every type of different route. I'm not so sure the Lions showed that last year under Ben Johnson, and I'm not so sure that's going to evolve that way. That offense doesn't run the same as the Sean Payton offense schematically.
I'm going to give you one other example, though. I'm going to give you
Christian
McCaffrey's rookie season. Jonathan Stewart he only had 198 carries in 15 games because Cam Newton was on the team, and he had 139 carries, and he led the team in rushing yards. McCaffrey that year got 117 carries and 80 catches in 16 games, and he only averaged 3.7 yards per carry. He didn't have a great rookie year from that standpoint. He averaged 8.1 yards per catch. McCaffrey, I believe, was the number 9 running back in PPR that year. So he was second fiddle. He was third fiddle in the running game to Newton and Jonathan Stewart. And that, I believe, was the same year as Kamara. I think they both came into the league in 2017. So they were, Kamara was a third-round pick. McCaffrey was a first-round pick. I think if you don't give Jahmyr Gibbs at least 200 touches, about 200 touches or more, I think you're making a big mistake. So yeah, I think people like me, and by the way, to answer the question of who's the better value, even though I do love Gibbs, I still think if you get Montgomery in the 7th round, I think that's the better value. I know I don't want to be painted as the anti-Montgomery guy necessarily. I mean, you don't want to
be painted as the anti-David Montgomery in the 7th round guy. You have worked very hard over the last 3 years to be painted as the anti-David Montgomery guy.
Yeah, right. But I don't want to. But I could certainly see him having a good fantasy season, and I think he's incredible value in round 7. But I think you could plug in just about any running back into that situation. I would feel the same way. I don't think it's David Montgomery that's gonna. I just don't think he's that good. I mean, basically, you're right that he does create a lot of, missed tackles and stuff. The problem is he just doesn't do that much after that. He's just
when Dan said he was a great runner, I was really hoping your head was going to explode. But I do think a great runner would be if we could combine David Montgomery and Ken Walker. That's a great runner.
Give David Montgomery Walker's athleticism and speed, more so just the speed.
All right, so we agree Montgomery's a better pick in round 7. These guys are giving you a strong take on this Lions backfield that is not common, I would say. That
if Dave and Jamie would hear that, neither one would agree.
Wow. But I think everyone would agree that Montgomery's good value in round 7. I don't think there's any debate.
Yep.
About that. All right, let's go to the Bears. They were like, see you later, David Montgomery. They've got 3 guys who are going round 9 or later right now, RB 36 to RB 49. Khalil Herbert is first. Deontay Foreman and Roschon Johnson are RBs 46 and 49, respectively. So it's not a huge investment in any of them. Dan, is there a best value here, or how would you rank them? Herbert, Foreman, Johnson. That's the way they're being drafted.
Yeah, I would rank them Herbert, Johnson, Foreman. Just ranking based on talent. I think Herbert's the best value. Look, Herbert was a player 2 years ago. He was my favorite value in that entire class before the draft. I loved his film. He reminded me of I saw some shades of Tiki Barber in his tape at Virginia. So I'm just going to go with the player that I like most talent-wise. And I feel like you've seen that at the NFL level, right? Like on a per-touch basis, Khalil Herbert has done some really good things. I should have dug up some stats on this. I didn't because I wasn't as prepared as I would like to be, so I apologize for that. But Adam may have some stats going, but I think he was right up there, top 10 in forced missed tackle rate, in yards after contact per touch. So talent-wise, I feel like he's the best of the bunch by a considerable margin. You're not paying that much more of a price for him at these ADPs. They're basically all late-round dart throw, mid-round dart throws in a similar range, maybe 2-3 rounds. So I'm just going to go with the talent here, and I'm going to go with Herbert.
What round is Herbert?
9.
He has him 9 here.
It's a round pick 100, round pick 100 or so.
And the other 2 are round pick what?
Let's say round 12. I don't know, 130-ish. I have it actually. Hold on.
I think I'm lower on all 3 of these guys than
150. Sorry. No. Deontay Foreman's 145, Roschon Johnson's 155, and Khalil Herbert is 106.
Okay, I've got, and that's fine. I think that's basically fine. The thing that scares me about Herbert, he is the opposite, or he's got a little bit of the Ken Walker thing. I think he's better in some regards and not as good in others, but he has that same, his coach doesn't like him as much as his fantasy manager does. And they asked his head coach, what is the job about the running back battle? And he said, well, their first job is to protect the quarterback. Their second job is to run the ball. And Khalil Herbert's been one of the worst pass blocking running backs in the NFL. So yeah. I don't know. I've got it Herbert, Johnson, Foreman right now. I don't have any of them in my top 120.
Okay. He was I don't know that I look at the same advanced metrics as you do, but there were 41 running backs with 100 or more carries. He was top 13 in 6 different advanced metrics last year.
Yeah.
Yards before contact, yards after contact, rush EPA, percentage of carries for 0 or negative yards, as in he had one of the lowest percentages, and carries of 5 or more yards, carries of 12 or more yards, and 9th in avoid rate. So avoid rate would be something like that.
Yeah, the 2 I was looking at, I just found it. Top 5 in yards per carry overall, yards per contact or yards after contact per carry, and then top 10 in the force missed tackle rate. Those are the big 3 for me.